Hello, everybody. Let's see. Share. No. So we're doing a live. I've got to figure out how to invite. Okay. There you go, Candy. You should be invited. No. You can eat. You can eat like one that's on the paper plate.
No, what else?
It's got salmon on it. There's salmon bites. Okay, so I'm waiting for Candy to show up. Are you there? Hi, Lane. Okay, so Candy's been invited. We'll just wait till she hangs out. Till she gets here. I think she's here. Candy is here. Bring them on the camera. Add. Okay, I'm adding you. It says add.
You
There I am.
There you are. All right, awesome. Okay, so my friend Ro and I knew Ro from the Army, and she had inspired me to. I like doing lives anyway, but then she was like, "Hey, let's pick like once a week or whatever, and pick somebody that can come with us." So her and I haven't gotten connected, so I thought I would bring on my Aunt Candy. Candy is Jess's aunt, and we're just gonna chit chat just for about 15 minutes, if that, about ghouls. So, how do you come up with a goal? You see something and
Oh,
you're like, oh, that would be nice.
do what?
Is it like you see something that you want and you're like, well, one day we'll get there, and then you just build a goal, or like what? How do you choose a goal?
You know, I think it pretty much starts that way.
Mm,
Whether it's something you see on TV or something you see out shopping or something that you want for yourself or for your children or you want your children to be able to see, and then you just kind of go from there. Write it down and start, make a plan, work the plan, make it happen.
Have you ever had the had where it's like, oh, well, one day, and you don't really like consciously work on it, but it just like happens?
The
Like,
goals.
yeah,
Yeah. And I think that, I always look at that as like, you know what? I'm heading in the right direction. I've been given the signs and the tools, and it's right here in front of my face, and here I go.
yeah. I think
You just have
I
to
think
be
that's
very
the very,
aware though. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You have to really make sure that you're letting the universe in and hearing everything around you and paying attention to what's going on and what people are saying, and pick up and use that sixth sense to go, wait a minute,
Right.
that I was supposed to hear that today.
Yeah.
And I think
And I
many
think,
people don't do that.
nope.
Yeah.
But I wonder, is that because you're not self-aware? Or is it because, so for me, like when I think of a goal, like I never thought that I would be where I'm at today. So my
Mhm.
husband and I, well, first, I'm married. And I have 4 kids. I own 2 homes, one that I rent out, one that I own and I live in. We have 2 paid off cars. We just got a new car. Like I never thought that I would be there. And it's just one of those things, like you said, listen to the, when you're listening to the universe. And then it's kind of like, okay, well, I can do that. But does it
Mhm.
also include the people around me, right? Because if they're negative Nancy's and they're not speaking, speaking truth, but not necessarily being positive and achieving their goals, then what? To me, you let go.
You what? Yeah, you got to let them go. You can. I have dropped so many negative people in my life, people that weren't, and I guess it maybe sounds kind of selfish when you say it the way I'm about to say it, but it's like, if you're not here to uplift me or support me, I don't need you. I don't, but I in return do the same thing. I will uplift you. I will support you. I will be there for you. I will do whatever as long as you're, not stealing and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think some people just, man, they just choose to be negative. And then, oh no, this can never happen to me because, oh, this can never happen to me because, well, because you won't let it.
Right.
That's when it can never happen to you. That's why
Right.
you can't receive it. Yeah.
And I think that those people who have that outlook, they often are like, well, I have this goal, but it's unattainable. Like I can't, I can see that I want to be over there, but I can't get there. And I don't know how to. And it's like at that point, if you don't know how, there's only so much that I can do. I can't hold your hand. I can't, like if it's my children, it's a little bit different because as parents, we can guide them and mold them. But when you're
Right.
already adults, it's hard to attain the goals if you really don't try. Somebody can't help you arrive there.
Hmm. That's it exactly. I mean, what the old things our parents used to say. Yeah, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Right.
Mhm. So you can give them all the tools. They don't use them. That's up to them. And I don't believe. I mean, we have somebody that I've got a gentleman that works with me right now,
Hmm.
and when he's on, he's on.
Right.
But me, when he's not, he just brings the entire group down, and it's amazing how much the whole one bad apple spoils the bunch. It's
Yep.
amazing how one person's bad attitude can bring down a crowd.
And
A
and it's
crowd.
weird because it's almost instantly,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm.
It's not like it's so, well, I mean, when you first meet somebody, it might slowly get to that point, but once
Hmm.
you know somebody and you know their mannerisms and how they interact with people and all that, then that's different because then it's like instantly it's like, oh, what are the memes? They're like, yeah, Karen.
Hmm.
um,
Right.
so it's like, oh, great, here comes Karen. And
Hmm.
automatically people are like,
Yeah.
instead of wanting to attain those goals and get someplace, you know?
Right. And that, I mean, you can stop someone. Someone can be, hey, I'm focused, I'm good, I'm this, I'm that. But if you just keep throwing the negative stuff at them, they're going to eventually, make a hard right turn or hard left turn because it's just constant.
Yeah.
I that period that of any kind, if you've got those kind of people in your life, you got to cut them loose. I was just talking to my niece about this. Don't let people bring you down. I mean, that is your responsibility. That is
Yeah,
your responsibility. If you have a goal and someone is hindering you from that goal, then they don't need to be around you, period.
exactly.
You can't have people, there's so much of that going around in the world where people just aren't supporting each other. There's just, instead of finding something good to say about somebody, it's so much easier and quicker and funnier. I mean, let's admit it, we go for the laugh.
Right.
Um, to say something bad, or quirky or whatever, instead of just, looking at a female or a male and saying, wow, you smell good, or you look good, or hey, I love those shoes, or whatever. That goes a long way. That goes a
Oh,
very
yeah.
long way. And
It's
so
really
when you're,
funny that you say that because I did that the other day. This girl, she had on these like, there were stilettos. I can't wear stilettos, even if I pretend in
I
my
mean,
dreams, I can't. Yeah,
yeah,
no. And they were like totally sequin. They were like an inch or two above the ankle, and they were
mhm.
totally sequin, and it looked like mermaids, both of them. And I was like, those are so beautiful. And she was like, thanks.
Yeah, it makes you feel good when someone notices something that you've done. Who knows, that could have been her goal.
Right,
She saved up to buy those shoes.
right,
And then you just wore them
exactly.
for the first time and you noticed them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So again, that's even those kind of little gestures, I think help people when they are working towards a goal. Positive reinforcement works every flipping time if
yeah,
the person is serious. Now, again, the horse to water thing, right? You can talk all day long.
yep,
Unless you put those words into action, you're not going anywhere. You're
It
not
doesn't
you're
mean
not going
anything.
to achieve your goals. They're going to be sitting there. You're going to have all these goals listed everywhere, and you've never finished any of them. You've gotten this far and stopped, and that far and stopped. I think it's really important on even minor things to set your goal, take what steps am I going to do to achieve this goal. When you
Right.
write them down, even if it's something simple as, you know what, I'm going to get up 15 minutes early every single day to set my
I
goal,
think,
you
and I
know?
think for some people that those small little steps like that, even though they're tiny, tiny, they end up going like this. And then
Hmm.
they grow and they grow and they grow. And then all of a sudden their ultimate goal, it's there. And they're like,
Hmm.
wait, wow. But it's like you said, the horse to the water thing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter, I mean, just about anything is attainable. I mean, even, you choose to be, you know what, I want to be a rock star. Well, then do something to become a rock star. Don't say, okay, well, I'm going to take this job at the grocery store. Hello, you wanted to be a rock star. Where are we going to go to get to those goals? You know,
Right. Yeah.
even Matthew right now, he wants to be a mechanic. So he was hell bent on going to work at O'Reilly's or AutoZone or Tire Warehouse or whatever, so that he
Right.
was working around those things. And I was like, dude, just get a restaurant job. He totally threw it back at me. Mom, if you want me to achieve my goals, if you want me to be a mechanic, then don't you think I need to work around the business and around people that are coming in, mechanics that come in to get stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, ting, you know,
Right.
Max
And that's
wasn't
where it's
around.
like, oh.
Yeah. Oh,
But at the
parent
same time, you're
fail.
like, yes, I did the goodest thing, but you're not supposed to use that against me.
Exactly. It's like found parent fail. So
Right.
it is what it is. But,
Yeah.
even things as simple as that. I mean, and as children, I think we have to boost that in them,
Yeah.
like, well, if that's what you want, so what are you going to do to make that happen? Hey, mom, I want a smartphone. Well, what are you going to do to make that happen?
Right. Make it
Besides asking
also
mom,
accountability, because
right?
the accountability is part of the goals. You have that
Hmm.
accountability, those goals will eventually come in easier.
Exactly.
Somebody's there telling you. And I think that's always the hardest part, because even with Jess and I, when we make goals, it's like, okay, so, and we had to do it today. We bought these plastic
Out of
Adirondack
one back
chairs.
here, yeah.
Mhm. Oh, fancy, fancy. Super
Why are they
sale
so
at Lowe's.
expensive? Why are they
Why?
so expensive?
These ones, they were $14 at Lowe's.
Oh, that's cheap. I
Yeah,
seen
and
the
they're
other ones for
plastic.
like crazy, ridiculous price.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, why
There's
are they
ones
so expensive?
here that they're selling them for $300, and they're pure wood, right? And then people who are making them out of skis, they'll sell them for even more. And it's like, they're not that cool.
Right.
Like,
I just think
I
it's
don't care.
fair.
Right. I'm like, I don't care how many goals I have. Spending 300 plus on an Adirondack, no, I'm not doing it. No,
I'll spend it on a barbecue so I can sit around it, a fire pit,
exactly.
something like that, but not on the chair because I can sit on the
Exactly. Right. And he was like,
sit on the
hey, because we
ground.
went to a brewery and they had them, and he's like, these are cool. And I'm like, yeah, but they're like, well, when we looked, they were what, $20, I think, when we looked. And I was like, okay, well, we need at least four. That I don't want to spend $80. That's a lot of money. And then today I was at work and he was like, hey, they're $15 or whatever. And I was like we could probably do that. And then, military discount or whatever. So it was like $14. I was like, okay, we can do that. But at the same time, it's like, if we want to do spending like that, like, how is it that whatever spending we're doing is in accordance with our goals? Because if we spend this money, we're going to have to take it away from that ultimate goal.
I mean, I don't know. We do stuff that can, um, I don't think it really takes away from your ultimate goal.
Well, it depends on the
Because
amount
in
of
the end,
spending.
huh?
I think it depends on the amount of spending.
True. But that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like $60,
No.
but yeah, if you go, if it's if it's a huge amount or whatever, like, you know, trying to get enough money, you're going to put, you know, you guys, I know you guys want a huge property, piece of land, you know, so you got to put money down on that and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I don't think it screws up the goal. It may delay it, but it's up to you whether you want to get it back on track again. You know, it's just like weight loss. Hello. You know, I've dieted my entire adult life. And, you know, you set a goal, you achieve that goal. I've tried all different ones, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, I finally just got comfortable with me.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, that's when the weight actually finally started falling off, when I stopped paying so much attention to it.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, regardless of the setbacks or anything that happens, you just got to get back up, do it again. You know what? That's not, I didn't screw up.
Yeah.
Now I can't do it. I mean, that's the attitude that's going to make sure you can't do it. You know, screaming,
Exactly.
well, I can't do it. Of course.
Yeah.
But I think you just say, okay, so we're going to have to, you know, then the next time say, the kids are like, I want pizza. I want pizza. Well, you know what? Maybe spend a little over here. So let's make pizza instead, or whatever. You know, I think there's little ways you can make it up. Absolutely. And it all
The
depends on how
creativity.
hard you want to push to make that goal.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's got to be important to you.
It does. It really does, because if you're not invested in it, you're
Right.
nothing's going to happen, and you're just going to have nothing.
Right.
Well, I worked really hard at it. Well, no, not really.
You didn't. No,
Yeah.
you didn't. You know,
Yeah.
that's like, you know, people say that the powers that be or whatever say that if you're unemployed, then you're supposed to spend as much time looking for a job as you would if you were employed. You know, and though I find looking for work 40 hours a week a little, you know, holy cow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But if that's what it's going to take for you to pound the pavement and, you know, sit down and fill out a ton of resumes, whatever needs to happen. But it's up to you to make it happen. You're the only one in charge of that. You
Of
can
you.
say yay or you can say nay.
Yep.
And that's going to make a difference as to when you achieve your goal, how soon you achieve your goal, if you're satisfied with what you've done, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
You know, and you get off track, just get right back on again. If
It's
you want to throw the goal away, then
hard.
you're throwing it away.
Right. And it's hard to do that sometimes, but sometimes you have to work even harder to make it get back on track, to make it
Oh
to
my
where you
God.
want to be. Yeah.
Absolutely. We've been knocked off so many times. So many times. And had we just given up, God only knows where we'd been right now, would be right now.
Right.
You know, and that's, you know, sometimes we do kind of say, you know what, let's just throw it out there and see what happens. You know, but for the big stuff, it's usually there's a plan and, you know, we kind of work our way into it. But I think it's all about people assessing the situation, making notes, making a list,
Yeah.
and then working it from there. And anybody can do it. Anybody can achieve it. It's
Yeah.
just as to whether or not they want to put the time in. But, you know, sadly, we have too many people in this world that blame everybody else for what they don't have.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I had a bad childhood. Well, you know what? So did I. And then I
Right.
became an adult and I was in charge of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like
So,
at that point, right.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. Like, you have to take charge of yourself. I was talking to a friend at work today. Same thing, you know, she's going through some stuff right now with her kids. She's got adult children. And she was just like, I'm done. Like, I need to have stuff for me. Like, I'm trying so hard to do stuff for me, and I can't get anywhere where I want to be. And even no matter how much I put a goal in front of myself or I make boundaries, it's really hard for me. So that's why, partly because you and I have talked about some goals, and I've been talking with her a lot about it too, and a couple other people. And I think it's important. Like, we're not all perfect.
Mhm.
We all struggle, whether our goals are big or little and we're aware of them or we're not, they're still
Mhm.
there,
Right.
you know? So,
Exactly. And they're all, and when you don't achieve it, it's just going to keep sinking in the back of your head. Yeah. Every
yeah,
time you have a goal and you're like, well, that didn't work and that didn't work and that, it's just going to start chipping away at your foundation and make you feel that you can achieve it. And that's where you got to be a little bit of pick yourself up. You know, you
yeah,
also can't, as much as you need outside support, you also have to believe that you can do it.
yep,
So, you know, without that, you're lost again.
right.
So,
But I think
you
it
know,
goes also back to, okay, so this is a goal that I have. I really need your support. Like you have to be able to be in a place to where I can, like for me, I'd have to come to you. Look, Candy, I need your help. And this is what my goal is. Can you help me with that?
right.
And I think that a lot of people, even, your age, my age, Xavier's age, there's not always that your pride gets in the way. And I think that
Nobody
as
likes to ask
you,
for help.
yeah, and
Mhm.
as you learn, oh, well, I have a really bad scar right here for falling right on my chin. Oh, and look, I have one right here from flat on my face. Maybe I should ask for help because somebody may have the talent to help me do that.
Right.
And I think that takes a lot for people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we'll be done.
Okay. So we're
So then
done
you
because
can
this
go
is like
home.
our
Yeah.
first one
You
together.
can
We
go.
don't really know how to end it.
Yeah. Sorry. Like, see you later. Like, I don't even know.
Bye, Candace.
Um, there's just,
Bye, sweetheart. I'll see you next week. No,
I'll
2
tell
weeks.
you.
Huh?
Oh, in California, yeah. I'll tell you, if you guys do decide to move out here, I'd be super stoked.
I know, we would too.
I hope it works out.
all right. So awesome, Blossom. So we will see you in a couple weeks, but have a good
Yes,
night at home.
you too. Love you.
Love you.